What's up, everybody? Welcome back to In the Kitchen. I'm Bruiser Brad, and today we're going to do super nachos. What's so super about them? We'll get to that in a bit, but first, a little word from our sponsor. Once again, huge thank you to today's sponsor for making this video possible. And now, back to the video. You know I love nachos. I did a Costco nachos video not too long ago. But what if that's not good enough? What if you want something a little more hearty? Well, let me tell you, these super nachos are guaranteed to leave you satisfied, and here's why. A lot of times when you go to restaurants and you order loaded nachos, you just get a big pile of chips with all the toppings kind of smack dab in the middle, and you gotta make sure you grab all the toppings before everybody else does. Well, with these super nachos, I can guarantee that every chip has something to enjoy. The ingredients are pretty simple. Of course, you're gonna need your chips, you're gonna need cheese, you're going to need some ground beef, and you're going to need some veggies or toppings of your choosing. First, you're going to want to preheat the oven. You want to do a nice 350 degrees to make sure everything gets nice and crispy. Then you're going to want to brown your ground beef. You do this by putting it into a pan, cooking it at about medium heat, draining the fat before you add all your seasonings, and voila, you've got ground beef. Of course, you want to have your veggies ready too. So we're going to go ahead and cut all our vegetables. You can choose whatever veggies you like or none at all. I went a little crazy with this one with some Roma tomatoes, red pepper, and onion. Now we just got to put it all together. So we'll start by adding a layer of chips. And the secret here is to make a nice even layer of chips. Try not to go too high. The great thing about this is it is modular, so you can have as small or large as a cookie sheet as you'd like, depending on how many people are eating or how hungry you are. So that ought to be enough. We just want to make sure everything's covered. You know, we've got good coverage here on the chips. Cover up the whole pan. So once you feel like you're satisfied with your chip coverage, I like to first start with a little layer of cheese. And this just kind of makes sure you've got that classic cheese on chips crunch in every bite. Then you add your beef. Just kind of sprinkle it as densely as you'd like. Should be good. Then you add your toppings. Again, just kind of, personal preference, how dense you want the toppings, but the way I do it, I just kind of make sure every chip is going to have at least one or two toppings. So they're kind of fairly distributed. Okay, and then we'll add some red pepper. I mean, I'm a little sloppy here, but you can be a little more tidy if it really matters that much to you. And again, you can use whatever veggies you'd like. Sometimes I'll do green peppers. Sometimes I'll skip the onion, you know, just kind of depending on what I'm feeling like. And I don't use a lot of onion because sometimes the onion just gets really strong. And nobody really likes a bite full of onion. People like to talk big game like onion's the best thing in the world, which it is. Onion is great, don't get me wrong, but we don't want a mouthful of onion. I don't know how anybody could use like a full onion in any kind of recipe. Now, last but not least, we'll add another layer of cheese to really seal in all the toppings and just, you know, add more cheese. And sometimes I'll do like different kinds of cheeses on top, you know, if you really want to get fancy. Add different flavors, you know, Asadero cheese or Monterey cheddar, things like that, but I'll just use, you know. All right, we're looking good. Now let's pop this bad boy into the oven. We're gonna leave that for about 10-15 minutes, kind of depending on how crispy you want the cheese. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's take a look-see. See how we're doing. Well, looks like the cheese is pretty much melted. Getting a little bit crispy on some edges. So that's good. That's about where we want to go. And do it a little bit darker if you want. So I think I'm gonna leave it for a couple more minutes, see how it's going. Oh yeah. That's about what we want. Oof, that's looking good. Lots of sizzling going on. Got some crisp edges of the cheese. So that's exactly what we're looking for. Don't forget to turn the oven off. Now we just wait for it to cool down a little bit, but not too long because you want it to be fresh. Alright, moment of truth. How'd it turn out? Mint isn't very articulate, but let's see. So as you can see, there's a nice spread of toppings. Pretty much every chip has some good stuff on it. Oh, it's falling off. So look at that. First chip, we got beef, we got cheese, we got a little onion, we got a tomato, a little bit of pepper maybe. Let's see. Nice and gooey, nice and crunchy. That's what we want. Look at that. That golden brown, yellow, orange, whatever. I think we did a good job. I think we did some good work here. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. That's Super Nachos. You can customize it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can make a small tray, make a big tray. Perfect for just a late night snack or entertaining appetizers, you know. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. This has been In the Kitchen with Bruiser Brad, and until next time.